Hello everyone and welcome to my Y&R Insider 24 update channel. Sharon and Nick reconnect, but their kids' needs could tear them apart. According to the spoilers for The Young and the Restless, Sharon Newman's Sharon case, children require her assistance. However, Mariah Copeland, played by Cameron Grimes, and Noah Newman have very different requirements. Viewers have learned about Mariah's apparent attempted murder of a mysterious old man, played by daytime veteran Michael Swan in flashback scenes, in drips and drabs. Sharon enters the fray to hopefully bring an end to the unusual presentation of a new storyline and the amount of time that tale has been slowly told. Noah, the son of Sharon and Nick Newman, Joshua Morrow, requires assistance with a brand new club on his own. Noah's interest in nightclubs is connected to Nick's ownership of the Underground, which turned out to be a disaster, according to devoted fans. Once upon a time at the Underground, Nick once envisioned himself as an entrepreneur. Providing a hot spot for the locals in Genoa City, Wisconsin, was his goal years before New Hope's charitable efforts became Nick's focus. Victor Newman, played by Eric Braeden, thought Nick's decision to open that kind of business was foolish. That took place at a time when Morrow's character couldn't bear to play the corporate game. The Underground fell apart as a result of soapy fate. Years later, Dina Merdron, played by the late Marla Adams, burned the place down as her long Alzheimer's trip ensued. Adams deservedly received a Daytime Emmy Award for his work as an outstanding actor. Mariah Copeland believes she killed a man. For months, Mariah has been troubled. It took a long time until she began to discuss what was on her mind. In what has been a tortured tale, Mariah has revealed that she smothered a man with a pillow. Why she felt attracted to that specific person, a number of decades her senior, is just part of the mystery. Mariah recently and oddly confided in Tessa Porter, Kate Fairbanks, and Daniel Romalotti, Michael Graziardi, who did some digging. The news they returned to town with shook Sharon, who wants to help her daughter in any way that she can. But that won't be easy as long as Mariah doesn't let her loved ones get involved in finding a solution. Nick Newman has another opportunity at redemption. Sharon told Nick months ago that she was open to exploring reconciliation with him. He has developed feelings for her, but he was hesitant to start a relationship that could result in remarriage. Nick generously stated that he was concerned about inflicting harm on Sharon, as he had in the past. But she countered by saying that she'd hurt him as well, and they'd grown to a different maturity level. Sharon and Nick's storylines diverged nearly 2 decades ago after the tragic death of Cassie Newman, who played Grimes' first role on Y&R. Among that group, along with newer fans, are those who still believe that the love Sharon and Nick share is deeper than the ties they have through their children. Maybe Nick will see the light in Los Angeles, California, or at home in GC and take a leap of faith with Sharon. If this is the case, a sizable portion of the audience will likely accompany them on a ride of restoration and redemption. The Young and the Restless spoilers reveal that Sharon Newman, Sharon Case, and Nick Newman, Joshua Morrow, might finally be on the verge of rekindling their iconic romance. However, their children's growing struggles threaten to pull them in opposite directions, even as old feelings between them begin to surface. Sharon's life has always been a delicate balance between the past she shared with Nick and the responsibilities she carries as a mother. Now, with Mariah Copeland, Cameron Grimes, spiraling under the weight of a shocking secret and Noah Newman, Rory Gibson, struggling to keep his new business afloat, Sharon finds herself once again caught between love, loyalty, and heartbreak. For longtime viewers, Sharon and Nick's connection has always been undeniable. Their relationship has survived unimaginable loss, betrayal, and separation. However, fate seems to bring them back together each time life separates them. This time, the circumstances are far more complicated than either of them anticipated. Mariah's mental and emotional instability is worsening, and her shocking confession that she believes she killed a man has left Sharon reeling. Meanwhile, Noah's efforts to revive his creative spirit through his new nightclub venture are faltering, and he turns to his father for guidance. With both of their children in crisis, Sharon and Nick must decide whether their renewed bond can endure the emotional storm headed their way or whether their family's fractured needs will once again drive them apart. Once upon a time at the Underground. Years ago, Nick Newman believed he could redefine himself outside of his father's shadow. Rejecting Victor Newman's, Eric Braeden, corporate empire, Nick took a risk and opened the Underground, a sleek, trendy nightclub meant to give Genoa City residents a place to unwind and connect. The venture symbolized Nick's independence and vision for a simpler, freer life, one where he could succeed on his own terms. Unfortunately, the Underground proved to be a fateful chapter in his life rather than a lasting triumph. Nick's decision was famously mocked by Victor, who called the company a fool's dream. His words proved eerily prophetic when a series of events led to the Underground's literal collapse, both structurally and emotionally. Years later, the building was completely destroyed in a tragic fire started by Dina Merdron, the late Marla Adams, who was in the depths of her Alzheimer's journey. That storyline not only marked the end of Nick's dream but also underscored the fragility of even the strongest ambitions. Now, Noah Newman seems determined to follow in his father's footsteps by opening a new club of his own. While his project represents creativity and hope, it also mirrors his father's past mistakes. Noah's vision, though admirable, comes at a time when Sharon and Nick are already emotionally stretched thin. Nick sees the same spark of defiance in Noah that once burned within him and fears that his son might be setting himself up for the same kind of heartbreak. Mariah Copeland's dark secret. While Noah chases his dreams, Mariah's world is collapsing. The once vibrant and witty young woman has been consumed by guilt, paranoia, and confusion. For months, she's hinted at something terrible, and now the truth, or what she believes to be the truth, has finally come out. According to Mariah, she killed a man. The man in question, an elderly figure played in flashbacks by daytime veteran Michael Swan, seems to represent a haunting piece of Mariah's past. It is unclear whether this took place out of self-defense, delusions, or something more sinister. What is clear is that Mariah's emotional unraveling has reached a breaking point. The revelation came not to her mother or her wife, Tessa Porter, Kate Fairbanks, but to Daniel Romalotti, Michael Graziardi, an unexpected confidant who happened to be in the right place at the wrong time. Tessa and Daniel have since been investigating the truth behind Mariah's confession. Sharon is terrified for her daughter's safety and sanity as a result of the disturbing new clues they have discovered in their search for answers. Sharon must strike a delicate balance between safeguarding Mariah and uncovering the full truth as her involvement grows. The guilt Mariah feels is eating away at her, and unless Sharon can reach her soon, her daughter could end up destroying herself or facing real legal consequences. Nick Newman's second chance at redemption. While Sharon throws herself into helping Mariah, Nick finds himself facing a familiar crossroads. He has struggled for years to strike a balance between his sense of duty and his desire for personal fulfillment. Nick has never fully recovered from the emotional scars left by his divorce from Sharon and the death of their daughter, Cassie, Grimes' original role on the show, despite his dedication to his family and business success. When Sharon recently hinted that she was open to revisiting their relationship, Nick hesitated. He feared history would repeat itself, that he'd hurt Sharon again as he did so many times before. But Sharon, now wiser and more self-assured, reminded him that they've both changed. She acknowledged her own faults and told him that if they truly wanted to make things work, they'd have to stop living in the past. Nick's heart was planted with a seed from this conversation, which has been slowly growing ever since. But now, with his children's lives spinning out of control, Nick has another chance to prove the man he's become. Supporting Noah through his professional struggles and helping Sharon navigate Mariah's crisis may be the ultimate test of whether Nick can finally balance his roles as a father, partner, and man of integrity. Family, love, and the Past's Ghosts fans who have followed Sharon and Nick's love story for decades are encouraged by the possibility of a reunion. Their journey has always been one of tragedy and resilience, from high school sweethearts to parents who are in mourning to ex-spouses who never stopped caring. The death of Cassie tore them apart, but their shared grief forged a bond that no one else could fully understand. Even as they dated other people, raised other children, and pursued separate lives, there was always a lingering sense that Sharon and Nick's story wasn't over. Now, that unfinished love story stands on the brink of renewal. But fate seems determined to test them once again. Sharon's compassion for Mariah might consume her, and Nick's concentration on assisting Noah might lead him in a different direction. Both are fighting to hold their family together, yet in doing so, they risk losing each other. Still, for all their struggles, Sharon and Nick's chemistry remains undeniable. Whether it's a quiet glance across the coffee house or a heartfelt conversation about their children, the emotional current between them is palpable. Their connection has matured, less impulsive, more grounded in shared experience. If they can weather this latest storm, it could finally be their time for true, lasting happiness. The road ahead. The intertwined narratives of Sharon and Nick in The Young and the Restless promise to deliver family drama and emotional depth. Sharon's efforts to shield Mariah from harm could lead her down a sinister path fraught with intrigue and legal danger. At the same time, Nick's attempt to mentor Noah might backfire if his son's project collapses or if their differences resurface. For longtime fans, the heart of this storyline isn't just about romance or scandal, it's about legacy. Sharon and Nick represent the soul of Genoa City, flawed, passionate, and endlessly resilient. Their struggles remind viewers that love doesn't erase pain, it endures through it. One thing is certain, Sharon and Nick's journey is far from over, regardless of whether they reconnect with one another or are once more torn apart by circumstance. And as their children's problems get worse, it might take all of their love and forgiveness to keep their family together forever. The story of Noah, Cain's demise, and Chelsea's reward. The next 2 weeks of The Young and the Restless spoilers point to some surprises. From October 6 to 17th, fans can expect Noah Newman's, Lucas Adams, new story to begin. Cain Ashby, Billy Flynn, could lose everything. Plus, Adam Newman, Mark Grossman, and Chelsea Lawson, Melissa Claire Egan, are rewarded by Victor Newman, Eric Braeden. Continue reading to learn more about the upcoming episodes of the CBS soap opera. The affronts of Kyle Abbott. Before getting to the 2 weekers, let's talk about what is coming up from October 6 to 10th. For one thing, Kyle Abbott, Michael Mealer, and Audra Charles, Zuleika Silva, will continue to get under each other's skin. Now that Claire Grace Newman, Haley Erin, has dumped him, Kyle won't have much reason to behave himself anymore. Mariah Copeland's danger. Tessa Porter, Kate Fairbanks, and Daniel Romalotti, Jr. Michael Graziardi is scheduled to return to Genoa City. The blonde asks if they found anything when they stop by to see Sharon Newman, Sharon Case. Tessa and Daniel both have concerned faces as the singer confirms they did find something out about Mariah Copeland, Cameron Grimes. Tessa will continue to worry about Mariah's safety throughout the week. On October 6, 2025, Week fans will also see Nick grill Phyllis Summers, Michelle Stafford. Later in the week, Phyllis gets caught in a compromising position. Nikki Newman, Melody Thomas Scott, calls a truce with Jill Abbott, Jess Walton. Meanwhile, Jack Abbott, Peter Bergman, tries to push Cain into doing the right thing. Later, Cain is confronted by both Jill and Lily Winters, Crystal Collill. Additionally, Victor gives Adam and Chelsea a boost. Elsewhere, Nick goes rogue. There is also Christine Blair, Laura Lee Bell, and Danny Romalotti, Michael Damian. It seems they will make a big decision about their wedding. Will it be another postponement, or maybe they'll skip the big ceremony and just elope? In any case, expect some curveballs and twists. The Young and the Restless spoilers, next 2 weeks. During the week of October 17th, fans will see Sharon arrive in Los Angeles, but Nick won't be with her. Nick will come along a bit later. There will be some kind of drama with Noah and his new club in Los Angeles. Interestingly, Nathan Owen's Claire and Holden Novak are also in Los Angeles. It is also teased that Victoria Newman, Amelia Heinley, chases her daughter down, so stay tuned for the drama.